I know a lot of the girlies gonna hate me for saying this, but for the ones that don't want to have kids, what is your plan for when you get older? I'm not judging you.
Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome to my channel. How have you all been? Hope you guys are doing great. So this video, I'm here to eat this video up and I'm ready. So this is that came online and to act child-free women that don't want children, what they're going to do with their life when they are old, who is going to take care of them when they are old. And for me, I find this conversation like so repeatedly, and I know this is a lot of question. A lot of us child-free women get a lot of time because most of the time they're like, no, you just now you don't want children, it's going to take care of you in old age. Uh-huh. If you know you're a child-free woman, please go down and respond to this question down in the comment section, okay? So in this video, she asked the question and got a lot of response from people, both from child-free women, both from married women, both from grandmothers, women that are older, also responded to this. So I personally, I am here to respond to this. If you don't know, I'm child free by choice, and I am 40 years old, and I can't wait to respond to this question. So let's go check out the main video, people's response to it, and then I'll come back and share my own thought. But I want to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section.
I know a lot of the girlies gonna hate me for saying this, but for the ones that don't want to have kids, what is your plan for when you get older? I'm not judging you. Hey, do you, boo? But seriously, like, what is your plan for when you get older?
Play.
If, like, when you get older, your kids are usually the ones to take care of you or make sure you have a good retirement home, make sure no one's, kicking you behind the door or anything at the retirement home if that's where you choose to go. But what's your plan? Like, I'm realizing more than often than not, women are not wanting to have kids for their own reasons. Some can't, some don't want to end up as single mothers. Some just like, yeah, no, it's just not happening. But like, what's y'all plan? I ain't judging. I just want to know, like, seriously, from one person to another, like, what's the plan? I know a lot of the girlies gonna hate me for saying this, but for the ones that don't want to have kids, what is your plan for when you get older?
Why y'all don't ask men the same question? Every time somebody is asking this question, it is always directed at women. Okay. And why are y'all so focused on what somebody is going to do towards the ending of their life? Y'all completely skip over pregnancy. Y'all completely skip over childbirth and having to raise and finance this child or children. Y'all skip over real life situations that happen in between you needing that long-term care. Some of y'all frame these questions as if having kids is as easy as putting a quarter in a gumball machine. When these hypothetical questions and situations get brought up, sometimes I feel like y'all just want to have conversations for the internet and y'all are not factoring in what's going on in real life. Both my mom and my grandmother take care of my grandfather. Keep in mind, my mother has other siblings, but my mom does most to all of the work when it comes to making sure that he's taken care of. He can't do anything for himself. He does have caretakers alongside my mom and my grandma. My grandmother is in her 80s. My mom has struggles with her own health. It is a lot. And I feel like y'all act like it's not a lot. I have watched the both of them stress themselves out for years simply to ensure that he is getting the care that he needs. It's one thing for caretaking to be your job. It's another thing when you are just taking care of somebody you care about. You make so many sacrifices and it's difficult. And this is not me saying who needs to be taken care of who. Should it be a caretaker? Should it be your spouse? Should it be your child? That's not me saying that. I'm not even entertaining that. What I'm telling y'all is that it's difficult, is that it's complicated, that it's not as easy as y'all try to frame it when y'all ask questions like this. And why are y'all's children the only caretaking options? Actually, what if your kids don't even like you? Or even if they do like you, what if they just don't want to take care of you because of whatever reason? It is very possible that you have kids, whether you have 1, 5, or 12, and they don't want to take care of you when you get older. That is a real possibility. Your children are not your servants, and you should not have kids thinking that at some point in their life, they're going to owe you something. In conclusion, leave the women who don't want to have kids alone. Stop asking bullshit hypothetical questions, especially when y'all are not asking men in the same position the same questions. You should not have kids with the intention of them turning into your caretakers once you can't wipe your ass no more. And not to say that this young lady did it, but I just need people in general to stop undermining the work that really comes with being a caretaker. Stop throwing that onto your children who may or may not exist yet because it is not their job.
Saying this, but for the ones that don't want to have kids, what is your plan for when you get older?
My plan is when I get older, and even if I don't got kids, I don't want my kids taking care of me. Whatever happened, happened. honestly. I'm not having kids, so when I get old, I could rely on them. No, I'm raising them to take care of themselves and their home and their family. I don't want my kids taking care of me. Whatever happened, happened. And if I clock out on them, they're going to be straight. Now, what's your future with your kids? Is your kids going to take care of you? Because I don't want mine taking care of me. No, we're not having generational crisis over here. No. Baby, go live your life. I'm fine. When the time comes, the time is coming. Till then, I'm not having no kids. I will have a baby at 40. I go home now.
I know a lot of the girls gonna hate me for saying this, but for the ones that don't want to have kids, what is your plan for when you get older?
Having children as a retirement plan is a terrible reason to have children. Having children with the explicit expectation that they are your retirement plan is a terrible reason to have children. You should not be having kids because you look at that baby and think, that's my caretaker in 50 to 60 years. I'm sorry, I got some bad news for a lot of people who have kids or going to be having kids. Having children doesn't guarantee that they'll be taking care of you in your old age either, or that they're going to be qualified to. A lot of time, older people end up going to assisted care facilities because they have staff who actually knows how to care for them with specific medical needs. But regardless, your children are not obligated to take care of you when you're older anyway. There's no guarantee that they're going to live close enough to do that they're going to have the funds to do that, or frankly, that they're going to want to. You should not be having children, in my opinion, just because you want someone to take care of you when you're older.
But for the ones that don't want to have kids, what is your plan for when you get older?
This is an excellent question. As a child-free person by choice, I am happy to answer. So for me, it's a two-part. I do own my own home. So first thing is to, between the age of 65 to 75, hire a living nurse or get long-term medical care in a nursing home, whichever is applicable at the time. And so my retirement savings and insurance is geared towards that. I've also spoken to family and friends, given that they're still alive, given that they have the capacity, they know what is going on as well. So I don't plan my future in isolation of the people that I love, and I know that will be there. Even if I do have a life partner, or possibly a spouse, as much as marriage is not at the top of my list, it's something that I am open to considering. I always put it that way. This conversation will be had with that person as well, but I don't look to others to fund my future or my senior citizen life. So it's something I think about, but I think everyone should think about it irrespective of having children or not.
For saying this, but for the ones that don't want to have kids, what is your plan for when you get older?
Now, I know you said you wanted to hear from the girlies that don't plan on having children, but I think you need the perspective of someone who is already older and who has children. I am almost 52. I have a 21-year-old girl, a 20-year-old boy, and an almost 18-year-old boy. So I'm already a middle-aged woman with children. And my plan has always been to not be a burden on my children. And that's not to say that I don't think my kids would want to take care of me in my old age. My son has actually expressed plenty of times how I'm coming to live with him when I get old. And I've simply told him, no, that's not necessary. Just please make sure the nursing home is nice if I can't live on my own, and make sure y'all come visit me. Because I believe that once we raise our children and let them out into the world, we have to let them live their lives. And having kids doesn't ensure that you're not going to die alone anyway. My mother was a hospice home health aide, and she talked all the time about how her clients with kids, their kids never came to see them, and they ended up dying alone. So just having them is not going to make sure that you're taken care of in your old age. And another reason why I tell my kids, hey, if I can't live on my own, just put me in a nursing home, is because they don't owe me anything. They do not owe me the sacrifice of their adulthood. And before you say we as parents sacrificed for them, no, we didn't. We did what we were supposed to do as parents. So would it be nice if your kids take care of you in your old age? Yes, absolutely. Who wouldn't want that? Are they required to take care of you in your old age? They're not. Sorry.
For the ones that don't want to have kids, what is your plan for when you get older? I'm not judging.
Hi. I thought this was a really fun question, so I wanted to give my 2 cents. I am 33 and I am currently at a point where I am work optional, meaning my investments make more than my monthly expenses. Currently don't have kids and don't really have a burning desire to give birth. If I do decide to become a mother in the future, it will most likely be through adoption. All of this context was necessary because I want to explain exactly why I've made the choices that I've made. If you just want to have kids because someone cares about what happens with your affairs as you age, like, okay, that's what I do for my parents, that I am their person for that. But if you want to have kids so that they can take financial responsibility of you as you age, if you want them to be in control or maybe supplement you in your retirement, I am assuming, I may be projecting a little bit, but my guess is you have already failed in that perspective. Because if you haven't set yourself up financially, as the grandmother, for example, I don't understand how you have taught or supported your child to set them up to take care of themselves and you and or potentially their own children. If I had kids right now, they would be set because I am set, but I am still not set enough to also fund my parents' lives unless I go back to work right now, which I guess isn't like option, but you get what I'm trying to say. My parents are good because they set themselves up to be good. I just have to make sure that their plan works out the way they want it to, which means even without me, they would have been fine. They could honestly just like hire a lawyer to take care of all of that. They didn't need me. They wanted me. And I feel like that's kind of missing from the question you're proposing. Why would you have children unless you could already take care of yourself in your retirement? Unless, of course, you're only talking about the mental.
But for the ones that don't want to have kids, what is your plan for when you get older?
Okay, so the crazy thing is, me and my husband was just talking about this not so long ago. But mind you, we want to have kids. We're going to have kids eventually. Not right now, but eventually. But I don't know why people, when they have kids, they think, oh, well, their kids are obligated to take care of them. Look, it shouldn't work like that, okay? Their kids didn't ask to be here, okay? You chose to have those children and you took care of them and they was babies. They didn't know how to take care of themselves, so you had to take care of them. Yes, you did that. But you should have it set up where your child doesn't have to take care of you in your older years. You should have a will. You should have insurance. You should have all that stuff set up. Like, if you want to go into a retirement home, you should have all that stuff set up. You should not set your child up for failure. Why leave them with a bunch of bills and having to be your caretaker? You should be self-sufficient enough. Like, you should be paying into a retirement, a 401k or something. You should be the one leaving your kids stuff, not you depending on your kids when you get older. Like, that's not the way it works, okay? People... Okay. And my thing is, this is another thing too for the ones say, oh, women who don't have kids, okay, for those who don't have kids and who think that way, well, my kids are gonna take care of me when we get older. If you're already thinking that you can't take care of yourself when you get older, like, why are you having kids now? Why are you having kids now? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you should be self-sufficient. You should teach your kids to be self-sufficient. You should be teaching them about having insurance, will, all that type of stuff. You should be setting them up for greatness, not for failure. Like, why? Like, that doesn't, like, I'm telling you, my mom is going through the same thing right now with my grandmother. Like, she didn't have all these things set up in place. So now she's a caregiver to my grandma pretty much, even though she has other siblings, but she's doing the majority of the work, running herself like, just it's just horrible. It's horrible for her right now because my grandma doesn't have these things in place, and it's just horrible. On top of having to work, and you want to put all this stress on your child when you older, when you had plenty enough time to set all of that up. Like, that's crazy.
African parents are out of the door when we're having this type of conversation of going child free. Anyway, Please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. But as always, please keep it respectful. Yeah, on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a very respectful way. We're here to have conversation, okay? So we don't tussle yet, okay? So I am super excited to have this conversation, and this is the type this conversation I can have it 365 days a week. So if you're new here, if you don't know, I'm Destiny, and I am child free by choice, and I'm 40 years old. I'll be 41 August this year, so I'm 40 years old. And I get this question a lot when people ask me, like, so now that you don't want kids, because actually now I'm very vocal. I'm very loud with my child freeness, because I feel like a lot of women in my culture, in my society, should know and be very intentional of having children. It's not the kumbaya that was sold to us by society. And I personally, I have gone through pregnancy, stillbirth, miscarriage. I've gone all 10 years. Because some people usually say that, oh, it's because you can have kids, that's why you're going child free. Hell no. This girl can have kids, okay? I can be pregnant, okay? But come here, let's have the conversation. First off, like the other sister said, you have no business. You have no business having a child when you have not taught yourself to be self-sufficient, and what you're using the child for is for the child to take care of you in old age. This is something I get a lot when I ask people in my society, in my culture, a lot of the time. And I say, when they talk about, oh, okay, now you don't want kids, and I ask, okay, you that want kids, why do you want kids? Most of the time they just say, okay, somebody that will take care of me in old age, somebody that will take after my name. I just want to feel that unconditional love. And I tell them, like, if that's the reason you want to have kids, don't have them, because you're having them for the wrongest reason. Like, it's not even sufficient. It's not even, at sometimes, it's not even realistic, because things can go left. Your kids can grow up and don't talk to you. I personally, I've said it multiple times, I'm in no contact with my dad for almost five years now. By this month makes it 5, okay? I'm in no contact with him. So if he give birth to me with the intention of who's going to take care of him, or yours is his case now. So that is not, we've already had that debate. That is not even tangible. Oh, who's going to take after your name? What has your name done? I'm answering the people in my society, because those are the answers they give. What has your name done for humanity? What has your name done for your society? What has your name done for the people around you? What has your name done? Okay. So what has your name done? I personally, I was privileged to have, like, my dad. I know I talk about how I'm in no contact with him. But one thing I'll give my dad, that my dad has always said, even right for how I was a child. And I think maybe those are some of the things that fundamentally shaped my mind, okay? Was that my dad, as a child growing up, my dad always said that he doesn't want any of his children to take care of him in his old age. So according to that, my dad worked his ass off. Like, he was very intentional about his life, his health, what he needs to do, how he moved, even how he built his house. He was very intentional about it, because he has always had it in back of his mind. My dad is a polygamist, okay? So he had so many children, but he has always had it in back of his mind that none of his children would take care of him, and he moved accordingly. And me growing up, that was the mindset I grew up out. Like, even if I have children, my children are not going to take care of me, so I'm going to make sure I work myself off now, so that I can provide for myself when I can work. My dad has been retired for years now, and he still takes care of himself, and he's still doing very good for himself. And when people talk about, oh, very good for himself. Oh, I wanted to say something. Oh, my brain is freezing. So that is a solid way to live, when you're living and you're like, you know what, I'm going to make all the necessary things in place so that I can take care of myself. But you know what a lot of African parents do? A lot of African parents use their children. Their children are retirement plan. Their children are almost like, oh, and that's why some of them will give birth to so many children. So many children, because they usually say, if this one does not take care of me, this one will take care of me, this one will be a doctor, this one will be a lawyer, this will be this. A lot of African parents, I feel like they don't strive, or they don't attain success the way they should, because they put it in back of their mind that, okay, when I can't work anymore, then my child is going to take over, my child is going to provide roof over my head, feed me, clean me if I'm sick, take care of my hospital bills. That is the mindset, a lot of them. And yeah, in Africa, yeah, I won't say Africa, yeah, in Nigeria, you see a lot of parents emotionally blackmail their children. Oh, after all I've done for you, I took care of you when you're old. I remember I was having this conversation with my mom some years ago when my mom sat me down and my siblings are like, you know what, you guys are going to start giving me some money at the end of the month. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. I'm not responsible for you. You are responsible for me. You choose to bring me here. I didn't ask to be here. So till I die or till you die, you are responsible for me. And my mom couldn't understand. She was like, oh, other people are there taking care of them. And I was like, that is their choice. The life I'm living now. And this is years ago, even before I identify and say, you know what, I don't want kids. I was like, even I said, the life I'm living now is to make sure I provide for myself and my children, not you. And I remember we had this tussle and all that. That's not to say that I take care of my, like, I love my mom so much. Like, I know she's watching this video. She knows I love her so much and I would do anything for her. But it is not my duty. You see, that responsibility that has been put on your shoulders is a lot. And that's one thing I took off years ago, even before I started my healing journey, my self-awareness journey. That was something I took off my shoulder. I'm not going to be responsible for a grown adult that is my parent. Like, I'm not even going to do that. And I've seen this, how this has crippled a lot of Nigerian youth, that you see them, they are working so hard, but they can't even save because they are taking care of, they're still sending money home to their parents and all that. And for me, if a lot of Nigerian parents can go with the mindset and know that and live life like, oh, nobody's taking care of me, I feel like they would do well. They will attain a lot more in life than putting that body. For me, it's just pure wickedness, and even give your children step back in life when you put that responsibility for them to take care of you, or you are not able to take care of yourself. So they have to step in, both mentally, both financially, both emotionally. That is very selfish, because a lot of time, most of these children, they are very drained, but they can't say no to their parents. Especially in my culture, you can't say no to your parents. Your parents, like, you take care of them. You take care of them. And there's nothing wrong with taking care of your parents, but when that responsibility is being demand of you and is being summoned of you, for me, I feel like no. Because sometimes you see some people, they are struggling with life. They're trying to make their life, get their life together, and they have their parents calling them like, oh, money for food for the month. You were the adult first. You were the adult first. Okay, so like the question the sister asked, let me get back to that. The question the sister asked, which is something I have seen happen, and my father is living that life where none of his children is taking care of him and is doing very well. And that's the part I am on. Like, I'm going to make sure that I work my ass off now that I can stand, I can walk, I can run, I'm very strong. I'm going to make sure I work my ass off now to make sure I have enough financially. I also try to make smart investment piece, and then get myself a house. Okay, get myself a house. I'm talking like an individual. Okay. All I know, like, get myself a house, and then make sure that I keep my health in check, and also know, like, be open for an in-house nurse, or go to a senior home. And I know this is something that it's not common in, I don't think, let me know down in the comment section if you're in Nigeria, or if you're from Nigeria and you know any senior citizens home in Nigeria. I personally, something that I don't know. And I remember as a young girl, I usually ask her like, why are there no senior person's home for them to go and being taken care of? And for me, if I can have that so much money, that's one thing I would do. I would definitely build an old people's home, because I feel I don't know any. Okay, so that's something I'm open for. An in-house nurse, a living nurse, and all that. So yeah, that's what I would do. I don't need my children to take care of me. And side note, I have a lot of children that I would say I mother, possibly to my sisters, my brothers, my friends, and I love their kids, and their kids are like mine. But I will never put that responsibility on any of them to come and be a caregiver, even though I know they would love to. Okay, I have nieces, nephew. I know they would love to take care of me, but I'm not going to put that responsibility on them. Okay. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. I'd love to know what you think about this amazing conversation down in the comment section. But as always, please keep it respectful. Yeah, on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a very respectful way. Okay, share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push up my content for more people to see, and that will be you supporting this channel and this girl, yeah? So go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Do see.